Check, check, check. Can everybody hear me? Anybody hear me? Let's see. Okay. Runkles, can you hear me? Check, check. Check. Everybody? Joe, can you guys hear me? Oh, okay, finally. Sorry, guys. I don't know why I had to reset it. I apologize for all you guys that were already there. We'll give everybody else a second to get back in here. Yeah, sometimes the live streaming, hey, it's live. It is what it is, guys. So, J Mart get hurt? I don't think so. I didn't see anything on it. He looked good in that final session. I mean, he made it through. He got hurt prior to the series. Uh, so, yeah. Give it just a couple seconds. Like I said, I had to reset this bitch. It didn't quite work the first time, and I have no idea why. I did nothing except for turn it on and off. I feel as bad as Coach Rob. That's what Coach does. So, and he's probably going to be mad because I sent him the link for the other one that I had to redo. So that was him down in the whoops. I wasn't sure if that was him down in the whoops. Yeah, I should probably text those guys. I didn't have time to text them before this, or I didn't think of it. So, Fifth Horseman, can we get all the 250 guys in one class for the love of God? Thank you. Yes, yes. Let's just make it a premier series. The manufacturers need it. They sell just as many, if not more, than they do the 450s. Bill, Cooksey Mob. Yeah, thanks, guys. But yeah, we definitely need a 250 premier class. No way. He clipped a mic wire? Damn, that would suck for J-Mart. Hit a mic wire. That's weird. Yeah, East and West. It's just, I mean, at this day and age, it's just a way to. It's nice to have that many rides, but maybe we could switch that up and just, I don't know, we could do something different. Let's see. Okay, so a big thing is anyone there right now? Rain is coming down. I don't know how bad, and I'm also told this dirt does hold the water pretty well. So if we don't get a ton, of rain, I think it'll be pretty good. But I love the sand section, and I don't know how this sand holds up, guys, when you have that much rain. You guys tell me. I mean, that beach sand. Does it get sticky? Does it get heavy? But that sand, I love the sand, guys. I think they should have sand at every track like this, and not these stupid sections where it just blows up goggles. This is a Coach Rob. Love it. Coach is here. I love the sand, and I was thinking, why don't we do a sand start? How about that? Let's get rid of these paddle tires. Let's ban paddle tires and do a sand start. And then I thought, well, then the guys are going to go swirly. But then I thought, well, yeah, but it's only sand. So, if they crash, it's sand. It's going to just, yeah. Oh, yeah, Mark. Yeah, Hopper probably did. No. I transport this thing all over the place. I take it when I go to the Epic Studio and then back. So I probably had something bad. So the whoop section. This whoop section is awesome. But I don't know if you guys listen to me and Hopper argue. This is one of our arguments: is going into these whoops. It's high speed. It's a courage contest. It's, can you grab another gear and just send it and hope you make it, or do you try technique? When you come right out of a turn, it's more technique than it is just courage. Yeah, they said they took whoops out. I don't know. I counted 13 on the track map, and I don't know how many. I couldn't tell, and I didn't stop to count them. But I heard them say they took a couple out, and that was Jet that said that. Coach Rob, if the track stayed dry, what tire would you run given the dirt types, especially the sand? I'll be honest with you, Coach. There's a good chance I would probably run the paddle tire everywhere these days because they've got that thing hooked up so good on the sides. And as these tracks deteriorate, I just think that you'd have such an advantage. You'd gain more time in the sand than you'd lose in the other sections, but you'd have to be confident enough to make those rhythm sections. So, yeah. Oh, and then Hopper just texted me, did I figure out the sound? Yes, I did, Hopper. Thanks, though. Oh, let's see. And hey, how about James Stewart's going to be in the booth, guys? What do you guys think of that? They're going to do a 3-man booth with Lee, which I think Lee could go. Matthew, what up? Cooksy Mob. Coach is the legend. What are you talking about? Jeremy, I don't think I'm going to go to Indy. I don't know why flights are so expensive to Indy. And as you guys well know, I have to buy my own tickets because Feld won't hook me up with media passes because I'm on the blacklist, or as Johnny Hopper likes to say, the blue ball list. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about a 3-man booth. My dream booth right there is if they could just go ahead and replace Lee with Daniel Blair. Holy shit, that'd be a good booth. That would be a really good booth. All right, guys, let's get to the predictions, what we all came for. And I know a lot of you guys do the Rocky Mountain Fantasy Supercross, so I'm going to start with the 450s. I don't know how you pick against Eli Tomac. No, he wasn't. I mean, he's just – I just don't know how you could logically pick against him in any scenario right now. You just can't. Cooper Webb. This is a little bit outside the box, but he looks really good. Yeah, Supertramp. Hold on. Back to the media partners deal since you brought that up. I'm not considered media partners because I don't share the same narratives. You'll hear those same groups, the Vital MX, Racer X. Racer X is owned by the series, which I hear that they're working with NASCAR. Because I knew when these two corny, the Circus and MX Sports got together, one was going to buy out the other. Eventually, it's already talking about DMG financing MX Sports to buy out both. So that's supposedly in the works. We'll see where it goes, but I don't see these two clowns working together for very long. Too many big egos and too many weird people. But back to predictions. Tomac, Webb. Oh, whoever said Tomac, Webb, Sexton, Darren, you got it, bro. That is literally what I had. I have Tomac, Webb, Sexton, Anderson, and my fifth one is a surprise. Jay Coop. Jay Coop looks really comfortable. I mean, he looks good. I love it. Yep, the narrative. I don't cover their same narrative there, Supertramp. And then if it rains, guys, if you're picking, obviously, shoot, John H. Now it's pouring. If it's pouring, okay, let's just assume it's wet. I put Sexton on the I put Plessinger on the podium if it's raining. So, and it sounds like it's pouring. Yeah, Tomac has a psychological edge on everybody right now. And then for 14th place, it's just literally you just throw up a crapshoot for Rocky Mountain Fantasy. I'm going to go with Justin Hill just because that's just about where he's been this year. In the 250 class, I don't see anyone beating Hunter Lawrence. He's dynamite. I mean, he had that was so funny in the booth there when Jet was there and he runs into Hymas and goes down and Jet just makes fun of him. That's such a good relationship those guys have and they keep it fun. And I love their attitude to where they 14th for Craig. Yeah, that's probably a good one there, Darren. But I think Hunter's going to dominate. Obviously, mud races change everything, but I don't see Hunter. Hunter's a good mud rider anyway. I see him right there. Then I have Max Anstey. Max Anstey is an excellent mud rider, and he's really good right now anyway. So he doesn't need the mud. He may beat him at this race if it gets a little slippery. So yeah, mudder. Gosh, so okay. You know what, guys? I'm going to give you my dry podiums, and then I'm going to give you my mudder podiums. 450 dry podium. Tomac, Webb, Sexton. I'll go top 5. Anderson, Jay Coop. Mud. I'm going to go Tomac because he still rides the mud really good. Then I'm going to go Plessinger, number 2. Then I'm going to go Anderson, and then I'm going to go Roxon, and I'll stay with Jay Coop 5. That's my mud predictions. 250s. I've got Hunter. I've got Max Anstey, and Nate Thrasher looks racy today. Jordan Smith, he's fast, and he might be leading, and he's going to be in the mix, and he can easily win, but I just don't see him not making mistakes. Coach Rob, Deegan, 6 to 10, right where I have him, right where he'll be, and that's a good thing. Like, that's a good finish for him. But I'll get into Deegan in a second. Then I got Jordan Smith in 4th, and I got the Frenchman, Tom Vial, in 5th. He looks really good. Now let's get into Deegan. Deegan's problem at this track is the same problem that I saw in Anaheim 2. It's not gigantic. He's just not good in those whoops where you have to send it. But neither is Jeremy Martin. Maybe it's a short thing, but when you have to click up a gear, landing, and just pin them as they go away, he was one of the only riders in these two sessions to go slower in the second session than he did the first time in a qualifying session, which tells me it's all the whoops because it actually got better. Um, yeah, I agree. He's a top 10 guy, and he shows some flashes of brilliance. And if it weren't for the whoops on this track, he'd be good. When the whoops are worked in, he's going to go really fast. He might even win a heat race at this track. But when they get chopped up, I don't know if his confidence is down, if he doesn't have that athletic maturity that Coach Rob always talks about, if he's not strong enough when the bike kicks left or right, but he doesn't have that same attack in those whoops. So, you know, but he has tons of talent. He just doesn't have that athletic maturity, which is why I said it's stupid to turn him pro this year. Um, yeah, Mark, I don't care about Tegan. It does get old, but I got to talk about it because we totally skipped it on Johnny's show yesterday. But it's just the athletic maturity. This is why I just and people go and he's just shoved into this pressure cooker. He could have had one more year to mature physically, mentally, and just get better. Eh, it's tough. It comes to the old like Patrick Mahomes is in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is quarterback. You guys know for the Chiefs. Uh, he literally they sat him out for a year. Was he physically able? Was he talented enough? Absolutely. But you sit these guys down. You let them mature mentally, physically, so they can handle all of it. And then people say, "Oh, the cameras won't bother him. He's had them since he's kids." Well, I can go ahead and say, look at Hollywood. There's a gaggle of child stars that it didn't end well for who had cameras and that kind of attention when they were a kid. So, yeah, don't tell me that's a good idea. Can it work out good? Absolutely. Will it? Time will tell. Like I said, if you go by history, which is all we have, Hollywood tells us if you promote kids when they're young, it doesn't end well. Um, let's see. Yeah. So while he's going to be a solid pro, a good pro, I'm not ready to put him in the Hall of Fame. But that's it for the Deegan stuff, unless you got any more questions on it. AC looked awesome out there today. Dude, I don't know about you guys, but I just get happy when I see AC jump on top of the board. It just looks good. Like he's just awesome. Let's see. Nobody raping moto kids. You sure? You never know. There's some crazy things that go on that we don't hear about. There's been a lot of pedophiles that have been around this sport, Zyclown. I mean, shit. They let that one race at where Lynn's Kevin Walker. Like, come on, man. Like, there's some of that shit that we don't hear about, and God, I hope we don't. That doesn't happen to those kids. But yeah, when you put kids out there, things happen. Let's see. Oh yeah, back to AC. AC was looking so good, but Coach Rob, you're in here. I was told. Well, AC's claiming that his arm's not going numb. You had mentioned yesterday that it's still. You heard it still is. I also heard it still is, but since he kept saying it wasn't, I kind of backed off that narrative. But man, I don't know what you do about that. Do you? I mean, it's a nerve. If I'm him, I'm literally looking into going down to Puerto Rico where they do that stem cells and just I literally throw the kitchen sink at this thing because I mean, if not, I mean, his career's essentially over. Like if you can't get that arm to stay not numb, you're screwed. But it'll get better. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Matt, he is still going through some learning curves, but it makes it even harder when your body doesn't cooperate. I'm not ready for him to quit either. I love AC. AC is good for this sport. This sport is better when Adam Cincerillo is good, and he is so young. He's got years ahead of him that he could be so much better. Let's see, Dustin Reese. What happened? Do you say the Deegans went kind of hard at you? Oh well, in the comments section, they're the Deegan Mafia. Like they would just like they were researching my history. They were going onto my Facebook and Instagram and like saying stuff about like because I do some mental health awareness stuff. They were attacking that. I mean, they really went after me. But you know what? Whatever. But I did block some people. I unblocked them all. Um, but I don't really. I did. They kind of got to me. I didn't expect them to go that deep. I definitely because I thought I was pretty complimentary of the kid. I think he's awesome. I genuinely the sport's better when you have somebody with that much JD, the mob backing it up. I appreciate it. But man, I couldn't believe I was in the comments and I'd reply to one and there'd be four more. And it was just like, it kind of steamrolled me and I had to just put it away. I had some personal stuff during the day too that kind of got me frustrated. But, and then when you go home and all you hear is what an asshole you are, listen, I'm a human being. It can get to you. But that's the thing is, and people are like, oh, you talk shit on. I never once have said anything bad about Hayden and it was more about the people around him. Uh, yeah, I would say Super Tramp. I would say, or Steve. I would say F the Deegan Mafia, but they're actually really good for the sport, and we do need. And if I'm the bad guy that gets them involved, so be it. That's fine. I just needed to prepare myself a little bit more mentally for that. I wasn't quite ready for that. I thought I was quite complimentary. Um, Yeah, truth hurts, and sometimes I'm wrong, and that's the one thing is I never say I'm always right. I'm not always right. I'm just telling you genuinely how I feel. We had AJ on the show yesterday on Hopper's show, and he's like, "Dude, why don't you just say there's a chance?" I'm like, "Cause I don't believe it. I honestly don't believe that he is going to be an all-time great. I just don't see the things that I see in some other guys." Um, and that's my opinion. Does that mean I'm hating because I said he's going to be a good pro and I compared him with Plessinger, Malcolm, Alessi, and these guys who are really really good? Um, I do not say I'm always right, but I do say that I know everything. No, and you know what, guys? Here's another thing about the Deegan stuff. I got called a waffler because I went easy on him because he got fourth place. He did really good. He did way better than I expected. I expected 5 to 10. Did one spot better than I said. But he did look better. He genuinely looked better than I thought he would. And I just, here's the thing about information. So after this week, if he comes out tonight and wins, I am not going to come on here and say the exact same thing I said last week because I got a bunch of new information. And guess what? I'm allowed to, with new information, change my opinion. That's how we learn. If you don't learn with the information, you're a fucking idiot. Um, yeah, I'm not afraid Muppet, but hey, I'm still human. Things eventually, sometimes you're having a bad day. Like I said, I had to ditch the comment section because I try on these comments. I try to interact. You guys all know I try to interact with all of you whenever I get some time. It's my hobby. I jump in the middle of the night and start answering questions and chatting with people. And you guys also know it's fine to disagree with me, but when they just start calling me names, then I start to get a little annoyed. And that it hit me. There was a ton of name calling last week, and I feel like that about politics too. Politics, I think in life in general, I should be able to talk to somebody and not be personal about political views who are completely opposite of mine. It shouldn't be a personal deal. It's we're discussing things, and it I don't know. It comes to acceptance of other people, and I think the biggest thing about the whole Dean thing is I was like, God, are people this dumb? Like, are people? What bothered me is I was bummed that people were that closed-minded and couldn't see beyond what's right in front of their face. And those of you guys, listen, I grew up around Brian Deegan. We raced, me, him, Metzger, we all, sorry, KTM racer. I'm not talking about politics. I'm saying about how you're able to talk about different issues. If you want to talk about politics, head over to All Day, Every Day with Cooksey. I'll keep it off this channel. Not talking about politics. So opinion's opinion, but yeah, coach is a perfect example of that. We don't always agree. Yeah, but love that guy. One of the best guys out there. But we talk through it and then we share facts and those facts decide. Yeah, but I grew up racing with Brian. I think I have a pretty good idea who he is. And I'll be honest with you, the people, the Deegan, he's got him duped. And he's pretty good. He's good at that. But he acts like this family man. Man, I saw him when he was married doing some stuff that I wouldn't recommend. We were at the Indy trade show and yeah, so he's not this family man, good guy that he claims. It's fake, and fakeness drives me crazy. I'm not asking for anyone to be perfect, but I don't like fake. So Fake is bad. Do you guys think Nate Thrasher can get a podium that's not a win? I'm just like, damn, I really want this kid. He's so fast. Um, let's see, Coach Rob, and I quote, "Don't judge a man by his color, but by his character says it all." Exactly. Uh, yeah, yeah, KTM Racer. I appreciate it. I love you guys. Like I said, this is by far my favorite show to do when I get to interact with you guys. I mean, we got 220 of you guys on here right now, and you guys are fun to talk to. Like, this is genuinely so cool. I look forward to this all day. Uh, Brian's a real character, not who you think. Exactly. And see, and that's my whole deal is I get annoyed with that. I get annoyed with that in UFC. I get annoyed with that in football. I'm okay with a flawed human being, but I'm not okay with a fake human being. I don't know why that drives me so fucking crazy. That's just damn my thing. Um, let's see. Taz, Anthony Thomas, are you still moving to Florida? I would love to, but the job market has taken a little bit different, it's got a little weird in the motorcycle industry. I know they keep saying it's really strong. It's not strong right now. I've never seen it this way. We have the AIM dealer show here in Las Vegas this upcoming week. I'm going to get a good idea of what the industry is doing. And it's funny because when you see the industry and you see the money around and when it's tight, it hits racing 1 to 2 years later. They're going to feel this in 24 and 25. These teams that are putting out this money and the sponsors that come to these teams, they pull back that budget. The first thing they cut is the racing budget, which is marketing. So it's interesting. So let's see. Cooksey, your room rebuild is complete, and so is the extra bath. Oh, Coach Rob, I love it, Coach. I got to get out there. Yeah, it is what it is. I got to check. I wish flights were super cheap. Maybe I'll make Daytona. And I get a few guys are asking me about races. Mark, yes, if you want to know about Brian's character, ask Twitch and a lot of the people around him. It is what it is. But I'm going to go to some races. I'm definitely so Hopper, myself. I would love to get Coach out there. AJ from the show. We're all going to be in Phoenix. We're going to do some stuff all day long. Coach, you swore I had to unblock it. Oh, that's awesome. Cody, will Supercross ever go back to Vegas? Damn, that's a question I get all the time. And yes, it will. The problem is this stadium is so badass right now. It's such a badass stadium. Everybody wants to go there. If Supercross goes there, they use the entire stadium for a week. They need a place to store the dirt, and it has to be at a rate that they can turn a considerable profit. They can go to Oakland for damn near nothing. They store the dirt for nothing. Your overhead is far less. Is it nearly as cool? Absolutely not. But it'll get there. It just needs the stadium to have a couple years to kind of like let the newness wear off. And as soon as we get something else cool in Vegas, then it will be, it'll be a little bit better. Let's see. Record fish hunter Cooksey. Deegan has to prove his talent in the pros before I jump aboard. I would agree with that. Yeah. Hold on. I absolutely agree with you. DS11. Let's see. But I do not care for Hopper's antics during the Cooksey Beams Hopper broadcast. Why is that, my man? I love Hopper. You guys get it. Like some people get it wrong. Just so you guys know, Hopper and Coach are two of my favorite people on earth. And Hopper and I, yes, we go at it like brothers. Like him and I could be talking trash to each other. And if someone else makes fun of him, I would instantly turn and go after that person and protect Hopper. Hopper's the man. So what we do on there is just us ribbing. It's funny because it's not, and I've been on some other shows where they do that when the mic's on, and then when they're all buddy when they're off. That's how Johnny and I talk all the time. We're constantly ribbing each other, but whenever one of us is down or has an issue, who's the first one we call? We call each other, and it's awesome. So Johnny is the absolute man. Yeah, he's a genuinely good person. Matthew, where do I got Talon Hawkins finishing? Man, speaking of good guys, I like Talon Hawkins. I think that kid is awesome. I hope he does better. I want him to do better because he's such a good personality, but he got thrown into this thing. I see him making the main, but I don't see him doing much more than that. He seemed to struggle in practice. I don't know if it was the sand or as those whoops, the bravery whoops that I think are stupid, and that's another thing that Hopper and I argue about. I don't think whoops should be where you can hit them third or fourth gear wide open. I think it's dangerous to hit them with that much speed. Some of the guys like to skim them, but when they get torn up towards the end of the night, it gets deadly. And, so Chris, any word on Joe or Seth coming back this season? No, I haven't heard anything, Coach. You probably heard more than I have. I have, yeah, you know how it is with injuries. Just like with my buddy Garrett Marchbanks, like they want to give us a date for Garrett's return, but I mean, when you heal, sometimes it's really quick. But unfortunately, like Garrett had an issue, and I don't know if any of those guys have had an issue or not. So, um, Taz, I love Hopper. He wants to find a solution rather than what's wrong. Absolutely, Coach Hopper and I. That's our thing, 100%. You can if you bring up a problem, I feel like you are obligated to offer a solution, whether it's the right solution or not. It needs something to get it going. Richardson, is Mumford out? I don't think so. Not any new injuries. He was recovering from that broken arm he had on the Suzuki, but I believe he is going to race in Oakland next weekend. I did hear some rumors, and he has been out riding Supercross. Axel Hodges. Yes, I know Axel, but I just want to see it. Would he do great? No, probably he won't win. But I'm sorry, that's one of those guys I want to see race Supercross. It's so cool. The things that guy does on a bike literally blow my mind. I've never seen anybody backflip, land into a manual wheelie. Axel Hodges is ridiculous. You can say whatever you want about him being spoon-fed, and he had a monster contract when he was just throwing whips. If you gave most people that compound and let them ride every day, they would not be able to do the things that guy does on a bike. It's ridiculous. So, would you guys want to see Axel Hodges up there on a bike, racing Supercross? I heard he was riding with some of the guys, and they had him covered pretty quickly. But let's see. Logan Miles, BMX MX, Chris and Johnny literally gave Davey and MX Sports oh, dude, Davey hates me. Davey won't even talk to me anymore. And you guys want to hear a funny story? So I used to be on good terms. I used to be the good cop with Davey Coombs, and it was funny because he texted me, and I saved the text and sent it to Hopper, where he said, I was talking about a press pass. He said, Hopper, that guy will never get a press pass at any event I'll get to. And then when Davey and I went sideways, he got sideways. Yeah. So now Johnny and Davey are tight, and he won't talk to me. So that's how Davey does. But he's smart. He's really smart, guys. He's good at working the system. He's literally built, a media outlet to protect his investments. Feelings on Malcolm. Well, I do have some feelings on Malcolm, and I was kind of frustrated with him not, like last year in the outdoors when he finished Supercross. Then they knew the knee was hurt. I wish he would have got the surgery then and had it fixed. And I think the team was slightly. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure the team was kind of frustrated that he didn't go get a surgery either. And you're going to sit out that long and not actually get the surgery. Yeah, and I don't know, and I don't think they've actually said, but it sounds a lot like an ACL. Yeah. But I just wish he would have got the surgery last summer, because now he gets the surgery and he's out. His contract's up at the end of this year. Is he even going to come back? Like, what's going to happen? I mean, he's on the wrong side of 30. That's not good. I see JT being brought up here. Jason Thomas. Jason Thomas is good. He's awesome. I think Jason Thomas has brought a new element. He has put his balls on the table, as they so say. And he, like when he brought up that tweet with Jason Anderson calling Barsha a bitch before the race, how many top meat TV guys would do that? So I would love to see Hodges ride World Supercross. That would be, he wouldn't have to qualify, but that might get ugly in those three main events. But the guy's so talented. Maybe just have him throw whips. So Jason Thomas is a supercomputer of motocross. Yeah, he does sound a little digital, but that's just Jason Thomas. And it's funny because I've spent a lot of time with JT when we work together and stuff. He's just dry, but he has some dry one-liners if you can get him going, especially after a couple drinks. He's funny. He really is. But he does a good job, and he takes the short jokes really well. I've given him a lot of those because he's like half my size. So Muppet. Did I ever go to Honda Land in the '80s? No, I did not. I got to see the Suzuki track in Adelanto, but yeah. Mark McCann, JT needs a tighter shirt. I don't know if you guys follow Moto Memes on Instagram, but Moto Memes has been really hard on JT. It showed a picture of him and it said if Axe body spray was a person and it was JT, I'm like, oh man. But it was, but I even text JT, I'm like, dude, this is funny, but I always like tell him like you're fucking killing it. And I even saw him at Anaheim and told him what a great job he's doing. And it's funny too, because I still listen to the Pulp reviews, guys. And in the Pulp reviews, Steve is just like, he's getting passed up, like with Weege and JT doing all these big things. And Steve's just so bitter. It's tough. Yeah, it's brutal. Let's see. Admec 1025. No, I'm not riding right now. I got rid of my bike because I had my knee replaced and I've just been recovering. And my one day job at Tucker Power Sports drove off a cliff. Like it's straight commission and it hasn't been good. So I don't know when I'm going to get another bike. I got to move, change places and stuff. I got to move out of this house, get a little smaller house, downsize a little bit. That's what you do in a recession. It happens. But then after that, I'll probably give it a year or so and I'll start riding again. So let's see. JT looks like he never stops training and JT is, I'll say this, that dude has a drive and a will to work that will make him successful at whatever he does. It probably hurts his personal life a little bit, but that dude is regimented. He gets his workout in. He gets his food in. You can say a lot about JT, but don't ever question his work ethic. He busts his ass and he earns everything he gets. So yeah, Cody, I did have a 350 for a while, but I just like the 450. I love just being able to just cruise and just launch into it. So, yeah, that whoop section's a little bit too long for Deegan. Is anybody there that can give us an update before we scrap this thing and I grab some food and start watching some UFC? I really, really, like I said, I've told this dirt is particularly good at absorbing rain, not like Vegas dirt where it just turns into ice. Yeah. Coach, you're absolutely right. JT has played a significant role in being the face of it, but there's a lot of people behind the scenes. Coach is going to text his boy, Rylan Munson, who is a great kid. We had him on the Hopper Show. What a cool kid, man. And he's one of the best riders you'll see at a local track. But he seems to be struggling just a bit with Supercross. But yeah, forecast is calling for Hurricane Eli tonight. I think Hurricane Eli is every night. Do you guys agree with me now? I've been arguing this for years and about the age thing and that motocross has it wrong. I truly think a peak racing, if you don't get injured, your peak racing years are between 25 and 35. And I think that's perfect. Did you play on the Goonies? I wish. No. Chris, no place to practice whoops during the week that matches Saturday. That's true. It's absolutely true, Coach. Yeah, and you can hit those all day long. And we're seeing this from Deegan. Deegan's been on these whoops since he was a child. And when they're fresh, he skims them as good as anyone in the world. When they fall apart, that's different. And that's where he struggles. And that's where he'll be fast in the heat race tonight when they're fresh. But what was Ricky Johnson's nickname again? The Bad Boy, Ricky Johnson. Come on, you know that one. The Bad Boy, the original Bad Boy. Boy, Craig, I'm disappointed in Craig. I really thought he would be better. I know some people in his inner circle and everybody, like, there's not anything wrong. He just, let's be honest, he's a bit of a head case. And yeah, he just needs, he's one of those guys. He's kind of like his dad in the sense that if he feels like he can win, he can win. If he doesn't, he's going to be 15th. Like he just, and that's it. Taz, you're right. He's trying too hard. He puts a lot of pressure on himself. He does take it very serious. And oh man, I would hate to see him get 14th, James. But yeah. KTM Racer. The good thing about Savachi is he's probably not going to get a 450 ride because he's focused on World Supercross and Rick Ware Racing goes big in that World Supercross. So yeah. And Jeremy Brooks, yeah, Ricky Johnson's story on Whiskey Throttle is amazing. Every time he's on Whiskey Throttle, he's amazing. He's one of the few guys I've interviewed where I literally like fanboyed out. I'm like, oh, it's Rick Johnson. Oh. I mean, I've interviewed a lot of people. He was probably the only one that I really was like, he has a dominant presence to him. It's the bad boy, Rick Johnson. I mean, wow. So anyway, guys, anything else before I split? So I got in the 250s, I got Hunter, Anstey, Thrasher, Smith, Vial. 450s, I got Tomac, Webb, Sexton, Anderson, and J. Coop. Then if it's muddy, I've got Tomac, Plessinger, Webb, Anderson, J. Coop. And then if it's wet in the 250s, I still got Hunter, Anstey. I'm going to actually just stay the same. Thrasher, Smith, Vial. So J. Coop looks awesome. J. Coop is fast, guys, and he's doing really good. Hey, do you guys think, okay, is it Roxon gone east, or was I right about the Suzuki? I think I jumped off the Suzuki. I saw him at Anaheim, and I might have overreacted at how good he looked when he did that table to table. Will you marry me? Adam, you crack me up. That's awesome. But yeah, when I might have overreacted on the Suzuki, I might have been a little bit hard on it. And then I also jumped a little bit too soon. So anyway, guys, take it easy. And hold on. Wait, I just saw a UFC reference in there. Volkanovski for the W. Yeah, oh, man, I hope so. I really, really hope so. Yeah, that would be cool. I don't think so, because Islam is just, I mean, I don't know what it is about those Russian dudes. They're just heavy and strong, and they'll just hold you down. So, yeah. Yeah, Rock's on the lackluster streak, but it doesn't help that he's on the Suzuki. Is it bad? No, it's not horrible, but it's not as good as the other ones. So, thank you guys. Cooksy Mob, love you guys. We'll see you later.